Where beauty stands on the edge of danger, Asia is not only a land of ancient temples, tropical jungles, and mountain ranges that touch the clouds. It is also where nature reveals beauty so unreal that it almost feels impossible. But always with a silent warning attached. There are paths hanging from sheer cliffs, crystal blue lakes born from disaster, volcanic craters glowing with toxic fire, and valleys so beautiful they look like paradise, until one storm turns them into a trap. Today, we're traveling through some of the most beautiful, bizarre, and dangerous places in Asia. Part 1, Mount Huashan, China, the wooden path above the abyss. If there is one place that can fascinate you and terrify you with a single glance, it is Mount Huashan in Shaanxi Province, China. From a distance, Huashan looks like a giant stone blade stabbing into the sky. Its peaks are sharp, vertical, exposed, and ancient, so dramatic that they feel detached from the modern world. But what makes this mountain famous is not only its scenery. It is the wooden plank walk attached to the cliffside. Narrow boards are fixed into the mountain wall, with a bottomless drop below and a sheer rock face beside you. Every step here stops feeling ordinary. It becomes a silent negotiation between your body and the height. You have to clip into a safety harness. Press yourself close to the cliff and try not to look down for too long. The wind cuts through the mountain cracks, carrying a sound that feels like a warning. Clouds drift beneath your feet, making the entire scene feel heavenly and terrifying at the same time. For a moment, you may not know whether you are climbing a mountain or walking along the border between earth and sky. Huashan is beautiful in a ruthless way. It does not try to comfort you. It forces you to feel small, to go quiet, and to realize that nature does not need to be gentle to be magnificent. Part 2, Kawah Ijen, Indonesia. Blue fire inside a volcanic crater. Leaving the cliffs of China behind, we travel to Indonesia, home to one of the strangest sights on Earth, Kawah Ijen. By day, this place is an acid lake glowing in a surreal turquoise color inside a volcanic crater. The water looks so beautiful it almost seems artificial, as if someone poured liquid gemstones into the earth. But when night falls, Kawah Ijen reveals its most haunting face. From cracks in the ground, sulfur gases rise, ignite, and create ghostly blue flames. They crawl across the black volcanic rock, glowing in the darkness like the spirit of the volcano itself. The scene is breathtaking, but it is far from safe. The air can be thick with sulfur, burning your throat and stinging your eyes. People who get close to the crater often need gas masks to protect themselves. Kawah Ijen does not feel like an ordinary tourist destination. It feels like a doorway into the most primitive part of Earth, where rock, fire, toxic gas and acid water exist together in an almost supernatural beauty. You can stand there, watching the blue flames dance in the dark, and suddenly understand that some places are not beautiful because they are safe. They are beautiful because they remind us that this planet is still alive, still breathing, and still burning beneath our feet. Part 3. Doong Cave, Vietnam, a hidden world inside the Earth. In central Vietnam, deep inside Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park, there is a place that makes every normal idea of a cave feel too small. It is Doong Cave, one of the largest caves in the world. Entering Doong does not feel like walking into a cave. It feels like stepping onto a hidden planet buried beneath the earth. The ceiling is so high that it could fit an entire skyscraper. Inside, there are forests, underground rivers, mist, and enormous stalagmites rising like ancient towers. Sunlight pours through collapsed openings in the cave roof, creating massive beams of light in the darkness. But this beauty comes with hardship. To reach Doong, you must trek through jungle, cross rivers, climb over rocks, and move across slippery, wet terrain for several days. Inside the cave, darkness can swallow every sense of direction. The sound of water echoing off the stone walls makes the space feel even deeper and more distant than it already is. There are moments when you stand in the heart of the cave, watching a thin layer of mist drift through the underground forest, and it feels like you have discovered a world humans were never meant to see. Doong is not dangerous in a loud way. It is dangerous in its silence, in its depth, in the feeling that one small mistake could remind you just how far you are from everything familiar in the outside world. Part 4. Atabad Lake, Pakistan. A blow gem among brutal mountains. In Pakistan's Gilgit-Baltistan region, surrounded by dry stone mountains and dangerous mountain roads, Atabad Lake appears like an impossible streak of blue. The water here glows in a vivid turquoise shade, standing out against gray and brown slopes. On a clear day, the lake reflects the sky and the surrounding peaks, creating a scene so beautiful it almost looks painted. But behind that peaceful beauty is a violent story. Atabad Lake was formed after a massive landslide blocked the river and created a new lake in the valley. Because of that, this place rides the beauty of a disaster transformed into a wonder. The road around the lake is part of the famous Karakoram route, where steep rock walls press close to the road and deep drops fall away on the other side. Traveling through this area is both overwhelming and tense. On one side, you have breathtaking scenery, On the other, you feel that nature could change everything in a single moment. Atabad is beautiful in a cold, distant way. There is no softness of a tropical beach here. No calmness of flat countryside. Only blue water, sharp stone, mountain wind, and a sky so high that humans feel like tiny specks of dust. Part 5. Spiti Valley, India, a cold desert on the roof of the world. If Ladakh is a land of monasteries suspended between the mountains and the sky, then Spiti Valley is where solitude reaches its most extreme form. Located in Himachal Pradesh, India, Spiti is a high-altitude mountain valley with a landscape that feels almost alien. Bare mountains, dirt roads clinging to cliff sides, and small villages scattered across a cold, dry plateau all create a world that is harsh and mesmerizing at the same time. The name Spiti means the middle land. And when you stand here, it truly feels like you are between many borders, between India and Tibet, between life and desert, between peace and danger. The roads into Spiti are famously difficult. Some sections are narrow and rough, with rock walls on one side and deep drops on the other. The weather can shift quickly. Snow, hail, or landslides can turn the journey into something much more intense than expected. But that harshness is exactly what makes Spiti unforgettable. When the sun drops behind the gray mountains, ancient monasteries glow in the evening light, and the entire valley falls into a silence that feels almost sacred. Spiti is not for people who only want comfort. It is for those who want to see an older Asia, dry, cold, fierce, and as deep as a prayer carried away by mountain wind. Part 6. Socotra Island, Yemen, an alien planet in the Arabian Sea. Although it belongs to West Asia, Socotra looks more like a place that fell from outer space than an island on Earth. The dragon blood trees here have wide umbrella-shaped crowns, twisted trunks, and deep red sap. Their strange shape makes the island feel prehistoric, almost unreal. Around them are limestone cliffs, white beaches, blue water, dry caves, and harsh sunlight. Socotra is beautiful in a wild and distant way. There are no crowded resorts, no glowing city lights, and no polished tourist atmosphere. Only sea wind, rock, sand, strange trees, and the feeling of being cut off from the rest of humanity. But that isolation also brings danger. Travel conditions can be difficult. Infrastructure is limited, the weather can be harsh, and many areas remain extremely remote. This is not a place you can enter casually like a normal tourist destination. Socotra is a reminder that Earth still has places that have not been tamed. Places that do not need crowds to be extraordinary. Places where one strange tree standing in a coastal desert is enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about nature.